Hello everybody. This next pattern I call the Oldtown Light. It's an old school winged wet fly. I named it after a creek in western Maryland. I fish in Oldtown, Maryland called Town Creek. Anyway, I'll put the recipe in the description and explain the materials as I go. First up, I've got a size 12 standard wet fly hook. It's a 1X long. Now I'm going to wrap some 015 weight on it. I usually keep it on my spool here as I wrap it, minimize waste. About 10 wraps is fine. Break that off and then we'll put it about maybe 2 eye lengths behind. Looks fine right there. Got black UTC 70 denier here. Let's see. Okay, build a little dam behind it here. Watch the tip and go straight up to the front. Build another little dam right there. Keep that from moving around on you. Now this one, I like a pretty long body on this, so I'm going to take it just past the start of the bend here, a little bit past the barb. When I tie in the tail, give me a little bit longer of a body, maybe right there. So now the tail for this thing is the same soft hackle I'm going to be using for the throat. Just this one is a little speckled brown, so pull off, I don't know, 8 or 10 of the feathers right here. Just pull them straight out. Now, you might be able to get a little bit of black showing, but most likely it's just going to be the brown. That's fine. So let's get that laid on there. 1 or 2 wraps and check your position. Okay, I like that just fine. Another one, just take it a little further back. Okay. Now you can either cut those butt ends off or just bury them right here. I'm just going to bury them. Give it a little more bulk before I tie the next components on. So this next piece is a standard yellow floss, gold floss. Now is this a body or the rib? Hard to say. I will let you decide in just a second. So let's get that secured all the way back to where we're going to start our wraps, right in front of the tail. Okay, that's fine right there. Now next up we got the peacock herl. 2 strands, snipped off the brittle ends, like the first inch or so. So let's just get these caught in here. It's not a bulky body by any means. It's actually a pretty thin one. So just wrap these one in front of the other. Watch the tip of your point of your hook there. These things are pretty brittle. Now let's take it almost all the way up to the front. A couple of locking wraps right there. Go ahead and snip these off. Now I'm going to counter wrap my yellow floss. Now if this is laying flat on you, it's a multi-strand piece. If it's laying flat on you, just spin it. Watch your point there. Now I'm pulling with some pretty good tension on here, really locking this peacock herl in, and I'm going to put these wraps pretty close together. If it starts getting flat on you midway through, just give it another quick little turn. Quick little spin. Still putting a fair amount of tension on this thing. You don't have to worry really so much how that front wrap looks. The spacing on it, it's going to be covered with the hackle and the wing here in a minute. So go ahead and snip that off right there. So now, if you've ever tied a Hardy's favorite, you'll recognize this sort of. That's usually a burgundy or red pattern. So is that a floss body with a peacock herl rib, or is it peacock herl body with a yellow floss rib? Can't really tell, and doesn't make much difference. But if you put the herl down first and then lock it in with the floss, it's a much more durable fly. So next up, we got just the throat hackle. That same soft hackle hen I got, very small piece. Tie it on concave side toward the hook. Couple or 3 locking wraps maybe there. Now bend this back up, lock it in. It will pull out on you if you're not careful. It's pretty brittle, small tip of the feather. You probably are going to need some hackle pliers on this. Now we're only going to get about 2 wraps. Because we're going to push this down tight as a throat. There's the first full wrap. And let's see. Okay. Go ahead and lock that one down right there. Before we cut this one off. Okay. Big buggy mess right now. So, let's go ahead and get one more lock and wrap in there. Before we start on the head, we want to preen these back, push them down. Now you might not be able to get all of them underneath. Get as many of them as you can underneath. If you have any left over on the top, we can always trim them before we do the wing. So, well, I'm pinching them kind of tight with my left hand here. You see most of them underneath. I got a few on top. I will trim these here in just a second. Okay, so take a look at that. It's a alright looking throat, but I've got some of these up here on top. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Any other stray looking messy ones right here, I got a couple. I'll go ahead and take off right there. Okay, so that's for the most part. Yeah, let's go pull that and just pluck them. Alright, that's it. That's my soft hackle throat. Now, for the wing, you could use natural or a light colored wing for this one. I've done it with darker wings, but this one I'm calling the Oldtown Light, so I'm using some light wings. Either duck, goose, turkey quills, whatever you like. I've got just some natural slips from a turkey quill here. About how long? Probably, say a little bit halfway through the tail, from the tail. So hang your thread from where you want the tie-in point to be. Let's see, I think that will be about okay right there. So just pinch wrap, kind of bring that up. Now take a look at maybe a couple wraps, take a look at the position, see if you like where it is. If it's, you can still early enough to move them around if you want. I think that's going to be fine right there, so we'll go ahead and lock those in and cut these front ends off. Alright, and then just close these up in the head. Now I got threads getting a little loose on me. Let me give that a spin here. Okay. Just lock that back up. Couple more turns. Okay, and I got this multi-strand UTCs. Got to be careful on you around the eye or the point of the hook. So I think we're good right there. Let's go ahead and 4 or 5 turn whip finish this thing, then we can put some head cement on it. I got some loose thread fibers there. I'll go ahead and trim with my scissors before we put the head cement on it. Alright, that's going to be okay there. Just a little dab of UV resin here. I'm going to put it on my bodkin. Small drop on here, and be careful not to get it in your eye. Try to coat all your thread wraps there. Alright, that should do it. A little bit messy up there, but this is one of the hardest things for me to do, is winged wet flies. Anyway, we got some UV resin on there. Let's put the light on it. About 10 or 15 seconds and that thing will be cured and hard. So there you have it, an Oldtown light, decent pattern out here in the tailwaters of western Maryland. Anyway, thanks for watching.